Wastewater Treatment Plant Operator. Let's discuss what a wastewater treatment plant operator is. A wastewater treatment plant operator basically runs the wastewater treatment plant and is responsible for many of the duties in the wastewater treatment plant. What exactly are your duties? Well, your duties will include turning valves, pushing switches, monitoring gauges, collecting samples, maintain and repair equipment, run laboratory tests, record keeping and reporting, and plant upkeep and maintenance. Basically, you're going to do everything there is to do in the plant. You're going to adjust the plant by turning valves and pushing switches and monitoring gauges. Then you'll check these adjustments that you make to the plant by collecting samples and running laboratory tests. In between that, you'll maintain and repair any equipment that needs to be either have a preventive maintenance done on it or corrective maintenance. Then you're going to do record keeping, which is very important. You're going to write down all the results of your test because record keeping helps an operator look back on the past and see if something that's happening in the present has happened before and teaches him the best way to go ahead and fix that problem. And plan upkeep and maintenance, painting, making sure the grass is mowed, the weeds are pulled. All this is very important because perception is safety, yours and that of your coworkers. Safety is a high responsibility of operators. Not only that of yourself, but of the people you're working with. Wastewater is inherently dangerous. You have toxic gases, you have low oxygen atmospheres, you have explosive gases, and you're working with waters that can contain pathogenic organisms that are disease causing and possibly life threatening. You will be given all the proper safety equipment to work in these environments as well as the training required to do so. You're going to protect the environment. The discharge from your wastewater plant may go into lakes, rivers, streams, and even reservoirs used for drinking water. This is your job to make sure that you put out the best quality water possible and that you make sure that you are not harming the environment and the people in the community in any way possible. That is the job of a wastewater treatment plant operator. Our job mainly is to protect receiving waters. Receiving waters are any waters that are dumped into by the effluent dumps into of a wastewater treatment plant. Everybody wants their receiving waters to look like the picture you now see before you. Pristine, beautiful, clear. Nobody wants to see this. And if you're not doing the process right, trust me, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get this sludgy looking, slimy green, nasty brown, black, whatever you want to see come out of there, it's going to be horrible. If you're not doing your job, it's going to show. If you're doing your job right, it will be fine. How the public sees your plant on the outside is just as important as the process on the inside. You can have the best water in the world coming out of a plant, but if it looks like this on the outside, nobody's going to believe that your effluent and what you're putting into the environment is safe and healthy. They're going to perceive that your plant is a mess on the outside so that your process is a mess on the inside. It will determine how well the public sees your success in your treatment. If you have a clean process and you're constantly maintaining your plant, it's going to show in your process, from your bar screens to your grit removal, from your bar screens to your grit removal for your primary clarifier, all the way through your aeration, your final clarifier, even your disinfection processes, all the way through to your sludge processes. Everything is going to show how well maintained your plant is. Continuous education and training. Operators are constantly training. We train our operators continually because there's always new advances in the field and there's new discoveries being made every day. We work in a process that is thousands of years old and is basically a biological process, but there are ways found every day to tweak and improve the process. So, along with training, you're going to learn many of these skills: math, chemistry, biology, computer skills, mechanical skills by working on pumps and piping, electrical skills by troubleshooting panels and motors, and most of all, when you get higher up in the profession, you're going to learn all about management and budgeting, because budgeting and management is everything. Most utilities are self-supporting. We are not a tax revenue utilities. Utilities do not get their money from people's taxes. Utilities are paid by people receiving our service and them paying for that service. We are an enterprise unit. You're going to learn all about laboratory analysis, how to do basic biological testing, how to do chemical testing on the water. You're going to learn about your computer and mathematics skills. A lot of math is done on the computer, but a lot of it is still done by hand on calculators, and you're going to learn all about that. Plus, a lot of plants are computer controlled. You're going to learn all about the computer controlled plants and how they operate and how to operate the computer screens and how to make adjustments on the computer. There's a lot of fresh air and sunshine. A lot of plants are going to be a lot of work outside, from hosing down weirs to mowing the grass to making sure that there's no wildlife trapped anywhere on the plant. Oh yeah, you're going to see lots of sights, lots of wildlife. Especially here in Florida, most plants are away from the public, and we have all kinds of wildlife. And our water, if our waters are clean and we keep our ponds clean, you're going to see eagles fishing in our ponds, alligators living in your ponds, turtles. You're going to see all kinds of furry wildlife running around and using the ponds for drinking water. And you may have some surprises. We actually rescued this Canadian goose from the Westport facility in Port Charlotte because it got loose from a conservation area. The poor little thing was missing part of its bottom beak. You're going to learn all about the natural water cycle, which is known as the hydrologic cycle. How the water goes from evaporated from the oceans to condensation into clouds to precipitation over land, snow melt, how it runs down and affects the groundwater, how it gets into rivers and streams, and how all this can be affected by what you put into the water from your wastewater plant. This is all part of the things that you're going to learn as a wastewater operator. So, now that you've been fully scared to death, let's get started.